Matthew Evans was a rich old man in his 70s. One day, his fancy car got a flat tire on a country road in Kentucky. He was stuck and couldn't get help on his phone. Then a young boy around 13 or 14 years old walked up to him. The boy was wearing old clothes and beat-up shoes. He asked Matthew if he needed help with his flat tire. Matthew said yes, he really needed help. The boy smiled and said he could fix it. His grandpa had taught him how to change tires last summer. The boy worked quickly and knew exactly what to do. Matthew was impressed by how good the boy was at fixing the tire. When the boy finished, Matthew wanted to pay him. He pulled out some money from his wallet, but the boy said no thank you. He said he was just happy to help and didn't want any money. Then the boy walked away down the road. Matthew was shocked. He had never met someone who helped for free like that. He drove home but couldn't stop thinking about the kind boy. That night, Matthew sat in his big, expensive house. He felt lonely and kept thinking about the boy who smiled and walked away without taking anything. Matthew had met thousands of people in his life, but they all wanted something from him. This boy was different. The next morning, Matthew drove back to look for the boy. He asked people at gas stations and restaurants if they knew a boy who helped people. Finally, an old woman at a small cafe said it sounded like Elijah. She told Matthew that Elijah lived with his mom in a town called Harlan. Matthew drove to Harlan and found Elijah's house. It was small and old but clean. He knocked on the door and Elijah's mom answered. Matthew told her that Elijah had helped him with his car. She smiled and said that sounded like her son. He was always helping people. Elijah's mom invited Matthew inside to wait for Elijah. The house was very different from Matthew's big mansion. The furniture was old and the walls had family pictures and drawings, but the house felt warm and friendly. Matthew found Elijah in the backyard fixing a fence. The boy was surprised to see him. Matthew said he wanted to thank Elijah again because helping strangers was special. But Elijah just shrugged and said, if someone needs help and you can do it, why wouldn't you help them? Matthew looked around the yard. Everything was old and patched up. The swing set was broken and rusty. It was clear that Elijah's family didn't have much money, but they took care of what they had. Elijah's mom invited Matthew to stay for lunch. They ate simple food around a small table, but Matthew felt happier than he had in years. Elijah talked about school and wanting to become an engineer someday. His mom talked about their neighbors and how everyone looked out for each other. Matthew realized that even though he was rich, his own house felt cold and empty compared to this warm, loving home. After lunch, Matthew told Elijah's mom that she had raised a wonderful son. She thanked him and said they had struggled with money, but they had learned to appreciate small things. Matthew went home with a new plan. He wanted to help Elijah's family, not because he felt sorry for them, but because they had taught him something important about kindness. The next week, Matthew hired workers to fix up Elijah's house. At first, Elijah's mom said they didn't need help. They were doing fine on their own. But Matthew explained that Elijah had given him something special by helping, and now he wanted to give back. The workers fixed the sagging porch, repaired the roof, and built a new swing set. They painted the walls and put in new kitchen appliances. Elijah loved watching the workers and asking questions about how they built things. Matthew felt proud and happy watching the house get better. For the first time in years, he felt like he was doing something that really mattered. When the work was finished, the whole neighborhood came to see the beautiful house. Elijah's mom was so grateful she cried. She told Matthew he hadn't just fixed their house, he had given them hope. Matthew said that Elijah and his family had given him something too. They had reminded him that life isn't about having money or fancy things. It's about caring for other people. Elijah told Matthew that he wanted to help people when he grew up, just like Matthew had helped them. Matthew put his hand on Elijah's shoulder and told him he was already helping people with his kindness. From then on, Matthew visited Elijah's family often. He helped Elijah learn about construction and building things. Matthew didn't feel lonely anymore because he had found a real family. The story shows that one small act of kindness can change everything. A young boy who helped fix a tire reminded a rich old man about what really matters in life. It's not about what you have, it's about what you give to others.